Hello and welcome. Welcome to my home and welcome to my sacred space that I prepared for us today. I'm Auntie O and this is Auntie O's Cosmic Tarot. Thank you so much for visiting to me today. It really means a lot to me that you are here. So, treat. Get yourself a little treat. This one might be a long one. I do have 3 little mini reads for us today, and I did leave time breaks so that you can skip ahead if you like. Many of you just watch the whole video, and that's okay too. And if you've never done a tarot pick a card, it's easy. Just follow along the video. Please do not make life-altering choices or decisions based on this or any other tarot pick a card. Remember, you are the master of your universe and the architect of your dreams. So today we are discussing the butterfly effect. And that is the idea that a small, seemingly unrelated event can lead to big consequences to complex systems. The idea of the butterfly effect is that a butterfly could flap her wings in India and cause a tornado in Iowa. So it wasn't a philosopher that came up with this idea, but a meteorologist, a weather scientist, Ed Lorenz. His point was that there are literally billions of minute variables that eventually spill over and affect and cause much bigger consequences. It's just an idea, a concept. But from such concepts come bigger concepts. So, in my tiny inconsequential life, I find the common demons that I battle are depression and fear. And in the King James Version of the Bible, fear not, or such a sentiment, thou shalt not fear, is represented over 71 times. So, another book I love and live by is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. So bear with me. Let's get these cards straightened out, and I will show you the little I have little crows or ravens on the cards today for you to choose, and I'll show you those in a moment so that you can do that. So okay, so here we are, Stephen R. Covey, and in that book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he discusses learning your circle of influence. In other words, asking yourself, where is my power? Where is my influence? We learn to separate from those things which we have no particular influence or effect or sway. And when we focus on things that we have no influence over, it takes away from the things we do have influence over that could be used proactively where we really can make a difference. I will find myself worrying and stressing over things which I have very little to zero influence. An example might be a grown adult child navigating an illness. After soup and patient advocacy, I am left with worry. Deep breath. Deep breath. I really did do some grounding and meditation today. I'm just strung. I'm just high strung today due to an outside influence. I'm dealing with it. I do find myself, like now, worrying and stressing over things that I don't have any influence. So this is what I do. I will do a physical meditation, usually cleaning house, dishes, or some other physical chore that needs to be done, usually dishes. I empty my mind and begin. And as I get into the rhythm of the chore, I take the energy that I am expending and I imagine the butterfly effect. I imagine that I am the butterfly flapping her wings. I imagine the effects of my flapping advancing all the way from my home to my daughter's body. I imagine my intention, and cleaning my home also becomes the intention of helping my daughter to heal. Another analogy I like to use as I clean my house and drain the gunk out of my sink is that I'm cleaning up the White House. That is what I do after writing my representatives and voting and all the other things I feel like I am able to do. And when I'm left with worry and I've done everything I can, I do this meditation. The dishes thing. The idea of the circle of concern, I can take that further in my imagination because sometimes just knowing my circle of influence isn't enough to curtail the negative emotions like worry that come over me. Anyway, that's the beginning of the discussion of the butterfly effect. Please let me know if you have any questions or if you have something to add to the discussion. I know this one was long, so I do have timestamps, so you never have to sit through these thoughts and ideas. But that said, let's move on to your readings. Oh, and please do all of the things like comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell too, which tells you when I drop a video. Since I don't always do it at the same time of day. I don't always do it the same day of week. But you'll know when I do. So let's move on to your little readings and let's show your what we have. They're either ravens or crows. This crow, I'm going to call them crows. This little crow has the keys. The keys to what? Oh my goodness, who knows? But crows are known to use tools. We've figured that out. And have language. We figured that out too. Look it up. It's awesome. So this little crow, I can't really tell what's going on with this crow, but I think they're doing the butterfly effect, only it's the crow effect with their wings. And this crow is using a tool that might look a little scary, but they're just using it to probably plant some seeds. Okay, so you have the three little birds to choose from. Let me pick them up so that you can take your time and take a look and see which one you would like to choose. And I'm going to take a drink of water and we shall move on to your mini readings. I think I have mentioned before that water is not just good for our physical bodies, but it also considered to be very good for our spiritual bodies. Today I'm using the Crow Tarot. I don't know if you can see that very well. I'm going to move the camera just a little bit. I'm also using the I Am Everything affirmation card deck. We will use that also. So if you chose the crow with the keys, this is your reading today. So you got the Magician. You got the Five of Swords. And you got the Devil. Ooh, the Devil. Ah, the Devil. Eek. That's the beginning of a poem by E. E. Cummings. um, so don't be scared. This isn't bad. Okay. So let me start at the beginning. We have the Magician. The Magician to me is a MacGyver card. If you don't know who MacGyver is, he's someone who's extremely resourceful. And even if he has nothing, he has all the tools he needs to get out of a tough situation. And that is what you are in. And I know this because we have the Five of Swords here. And the Five of Swords is kind of a trouble card. But the neat thing about the Five of Swords is it's also a what next card. So it's like, look, yeah, you're going through it, but you got the tools. And what's next? Well, with the Devil card, oftentimes you are dealing with addiction. You might be dealing with your own addiction. You might be dealing with someone else's or both. But at any rate, you have what it takes to get through this. So let's pull an I Am Everything card. This is an affirmation that you can tell yourself every day for a few days while you're dealing with this. Here's your card. I am compassionate. I understand how important it is to have compassion and not just for others, but for myself as well. I forgive myself for the times I may have let myself down. I forgive others for the same. I realize that, like me, everyone is doing the best they know with the tools they have. I am compassionate. Oh, that's beautiful. So I hope you like your little mini reading. If you have any questions or if anything bothered you or scared you, I sure hope you will let me know and we can certainly discuss that and you can leave a comment in the discussion down below. Next, we have that crow that I called the butterfly effect crow, because it seems like, well, maybe he's doing his own butterfly effect. I can't really tell what's going on in this picture. But something. Okay. All right, and let's see what you have. Your cards are, what is this? The Two of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles. And the Six of Wands. Okay, this is very nice. This is very good. Okay, so I am not just, okay, so the Two of Pentacles often has to do with having enough money, but maybe having to juggle it a little bit. But knowing that you're doing the dance of life and that you're okay. So if you're worried about money, if you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, know that you be grateful that you have enough to rob Peter to pay Paul, because Peter and Paul are both you, right? Your bank accounts. I'm not talking, you know what I mean. All right, well, let's move on. We'll put them together. And then you have the King of Pentacles. This is temporary. This situation where you're like, I'm not sure I have enough money, but you're doing like this little dance to make sure all the needs get met. The King of Pentacles is coming in. This may be a person. This may be a chunk of change. This may be you that's standing up and taking your power. But at any rate, it's making this situation temporary. And then when we bring in the Six of Wands, you can see this garland up here. This almost might even be a job promotion, because this is a celebration. This is almost like a homecoming parade. So basically, this little set is saying, don't worry. This scary situation that you find yourself in financially is temporary, and you will be triumphant in the end. So let's pull an I Am Everything card. This is your affirmation for the week or for the next few days. I am transformed. I see the beauty of change. Everything I have been through, I'm going to try to put it up this way. Everything I've been through transformed me into who I am today. I am so much braver. I am so much more caring. I am so much more emotionally intelligent. I am so much more open. I will continue changing and improving. I am transformed. Well, that's really lovely, and I appreciate you being here, because when I do readings for you guys, it does kind of help balance my own um, emotions and thoughts. So thank you. And here we have this other crow who's working with his tools. I think that he just sees these as gardening tools, because it looks like he's planting something. He's not chasing someone around with these tools. So let's see what cards you have. You have the Four of Cups. You have the Four of Swords. And you have the Knight of Cups. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful reading. So the Four of Cups is saying, it's this particular reading in the beginning, it's about feeling a little bit overwhelmed and feeling like it would be nice if you could be given a break. And you will be given that break. You're getting a blessing. You're receiving a blessing. Then we move on to the Four of Swords, and it says it's time for a deep rest. Take some time for yourself, by yourself. It could even be a long nap. It could be a trip to the art museum. But it's definitely a long rest. It could be a physical rest. It could be a spiritual rest. but you are in need of a rest. And you will take that rest. That's going to happen. Whether you like it or not, you're going to rest. So you might as well go ahead and make it your idea. And then last but not least, the Knight of Cups is coming through and almost rescuing you in a fit of love. The Knight of Cups is all about love and sometimes romance, and but also about coming through for you. This may be you coming through for you, so remember that. Let us pull a I am everything affirmation card for you. Oop, we have a volunteer. That means it popped out of the deck. I didn't even have time to shuffle much. I am connected is your affirmation. I have more in common with others than I realize. I seek commonality with people rather than focusing on outward differences. I am connected. There you go. There's your reading. It's nice. And thank you for letting me do these readings for you. Thank you for being here. The thing is it helps me more than you would know. It helps me gather my thoughts. It helps me remember who I am as a viable human being and a person and a child of God and someone who is worthy of love and even kisses from little Pigletta here. Thank you. Goodbye.